Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, 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 everybody. I'm so glad that so many of you managed to show up here tonight at our very own Joe TV Theater for our first episode of Joe TV Classics. It's an absolute honor to be your host tonight. Well, thank you, thank you. This is just too much. I really appreciate that so many of you showed up here tonight, and I hope that you are welcoming our guests that we will have with us shortly just as much, and that you're just as great hosting him as you are hosting me. Thank you so much. Hey, there he is. There he is. Oh man, you look fantastic. Thank you for being here with us. Greeting the audience. That's great. Well, thank you. You can have a seat right there. Thank you. Yeah.
Pleasure's all mine, man.
Jonathan, thank you. I'm so glad that you are here with us today, and it's just such an honor to have you here at the theater with the audience tonight. Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. Jonathan, how are you? I'm actually really glad that we just got out of LA on time to be here tonight with you. And this fantastic audience. Jonathan, would you be able to introduce yourself real quick to the few members in the audience that may not know who you are? Well, of course. Yes. To those that don't know me, my name is Jonathan Grind. I'm the founder and yet again the CEO of Joe TV Productions. I founded this company in 2001, and my friends Kevin and Daniel joined me shortly thereafter. So you started this whole operation on your own, and then your friends joined later. Is that correct? Well, as I said, I founded the company 22 years ago. This was right after 9/11. I mean, we couldn't let the terrorists win. How is it that after 22 years, you are trying to rekindle the spirit of the original Joe TV? Yes. Rekindle the company. Yeah. Of course, we're in it for the money. There was not a lot of money in comedy back in the early 2000s, so we took the approach to go more into travel, documentary, and that really took off. Like, we have well over 25 followers on YouTube. We have about 100, 200 views on some of our videos, so we are very successful. It's not quite enough to monetize it on YouTube, but we do find other ways, like a day-to-day job, to create the means to make all this happen. Do people often compare you to Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or any of the other great entrepreneurs of our time? Am I compared to the great entrepreneurs of our time? Frequently, yes. I would say that most people do compare me to Steve Jobs. I get that a lot because of my ingenuity, like all the inventions that I constantly just come up with. There's a little bit of Gates in me too. Yes, I understand that. Like, people will see that in me. Yeah, absolutely. People frequently come around the corner with a lot of critique because you did not necessarily do as you were anticipated or expected to do, but you still managed to create all this. Criticism. I do not take criticism well, so people usually do not criticize me. So 22 years ago, there were these three friends, you just randomly got together, and then you managed to create all this out of nothing with no money to start.
So where are they now? What are they doing?
What became of Kevin and Daniel? As far as I know, Daniel's in Berlin now. He must be either the mayor or the king of the city, something like that, in the ballpark, but don't hold me accountable for the exact title that he's currently holding. Kevin, he is a regional manager of major theme parks in the southwest of Germany. That is what I understood from a recent meeting that we had. I may not have listened quite as well as I should have, but yeah, they are doing extraordinarily well for themselves. Both absolute fantastic guys. Would love to reach out again and like spend more time with them, but you know, life just gets so busy. Does not take away from the love. No, does not. How do you stay humble? Jonathan, we have another surprise for you tonight. We managed to establish a phone call, a video call with the younger version of yourself through the space-time continuum from 2001 using a sock puppet time machine. How does that sound? Yeah. As I just mentioned, we actually do have another surprise for Jonathan. We managed to contact Jonathan in the past, 22 years ago, live in Cell, using a sock puppet to communicate with us through the space-time continuum. This shall be interesting. Past Jonathan speaking through us using a sock puppet from 22 years ago in Cell. How are you?
Mir geht's eigentlich ganz gut, aber warum sprichst du Englisch? Doing quite well here in the early 2000s, but why do you speak English?
Man, that's fantastic. Did you expect that you would still be this good looking in your mid-30s?
Ja.
Oh, you little sucker, man. Yeah, I hear you. Now, did you know that you would be able to reach this level of success?
Ich bin ja immer schon mit großer Weitsicht ans Leben rangegangen und deswegen habe ich nichts anderes erwartet als den maximalen Erfolg. Und du hast mich da ja nur unterstützt, deswegen ist doch alles gut. Super, alles so wie es sein sollte.
So how about that?
Am Ende ist der Joni von morgen auch immer noch der Joni von heute und gestern.
Would you care to meet your future self, or are you afraid it will blow?
Ich weiß, wer ich bin und den muss ich nicht kennenlernen.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
Hat auch üble Folgen für das Space-Time-Continuum.
Of course, the space-time continuum.
Ich bin auch gerade allein zu Hause, muss gleich noch
Well.
füttern gehen, also lass mich mal lieber machen.
Either way, thanks for being with us today. You look fantastic. Just keep doing your thing. You're doing just fine. Love you. Well, Jonathan, it was great having you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Back to you, Jonathan, for the outro. Like, how would you describe Joe TV in just a couple of sentences?
All in all, this was more of a, how to say this, a friendship project, something that we just did to kill time. This was well before YouTube. This was before TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Like, we kind of invented the whole thing. This was loosely modeled after a show called Bully Parade on the German television, but we did our own thing. We were the creative minds behind all that. Yes, I know. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, man. Like, this is absolutely, no. This was a pleasure. I'm so glad when I get to come back to Germany, even if it's just for a little while. I miss the food, man. I miss some of the people for sure. Like, absolutely glad. Whenever I'm in town, dude, like, awesome time, awesome audience. Thank you.